Do we have Uncle Murderbot now? What's cool? Let's check out chapter 2 right now. Hello and welcome back to the couch. We saved you a seat. My name is Luke and today we're checking out chapter 2 of Network Effect. Yes, this is the second chapter in the 6th book of the Murderbot Diaries series, the first novel. The rest have been novellas so far. We've been doing chapter by chapter reactions and reviews. Interesting. This is the 6th book. Excuse me, this is the 5th book. It takes place at the 6th slot. So we've done books 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. This is the 5th one. If you'd like to follow along, you can use the link in the description of this video. If you buy the book or anything else that supports the channel, you can also join the membership. It's $2 a month, and I'm trying to get things out a little bit early so members can see the content a little earlier and we can kind of discuss what's going on. But let's jump into the chapter. So Uncle Murderbot. Uncle Murderbot. I love that scene. It's my favorite Murderbot scene I've seen in a couple of books. Now, the 4th book I like a lot. It may be my favorite book. I think I ranked it there. But that Uncle Murderbot scene is really cool. It's really cool. Everything else about this chapter, pretty good. Uncle Murderbot's great. Uncle Murderbot's great. We really get human. Murderbot's so human. I mean, Mince's going through this trauma with that resulted from books 1 through 4, and Murderbot's addressing its own trauma in its own way by continuing to have these like one-on-one meetings with Dr. Bartwaj, which I think is phenomenal, and it's its own thing. But Mince's, I mean, she deserves a break. She does. The pressure of the job is whatever. It's whatever. She's taking care of a bunch of people, and she's got a great support system. But the things that she went through, none of the people around her could even remotely understand. And I think the author's done a great job in letting us know that it was horrible. It wasn't just book 1, which is what the original survey team had to deal with. It was book 1 and then going to peace talks and getting abducted, and she deserves a break. And I think it's hilarious that way they finish the conversation with Murderbot says, "It's not me, it's you," or "It's not you, it's me," or whatever. I think that's hilarious. I think it's really, really funny, pretty clever. Murderbot's getting to be more clever how it talks, and I think that's great. Going backward in this whole ordeal, having this like under the stars moment where they're both just sitting in the grass having an intimate conversation. It does really feel like they're brother and sister at this point, or they're long lost friends, or one is hyper vigilant in one way and the other one's hyper vigilant in another. But for them to continue to grow, they have to part ways. Not permanently, just not be so dependent on one another. And I think that's great because Murderbot is so dependent on Mince not dependent, but Murderbot has Mince to kind of control its social atmosphere, let's say, and Mince has Murderbot to take care of the security. So I think it's really good that they are kind of separating. It makes me truly believe that not only are we going to get a whole lot less Mince in this book, but it makes me think that maybe Mince might not live. I didn't want to say it. Prediction time. I don't think Mince is going to live. This whole chapter kind of illustrates that she's setting up to either be a stronger character to make a larger sacrifice, or she's setting up to be a stronger character and to continue to grow as a character in the book. Either way, I'm glad this is happening. This is a great step in the future. The rest of the chapter was pretty good. We got some of how Murderbot kind of deals with the rest of the family. I love that Murderbot was pirating the plays and the musicians. I thought that was hilarious, and it used it as a joke with Mince. She's like, "I never get to watch things at these things," and Murderbot's like, "Oh, I recorded them. You want to watch them?" Like, I love that. I think that's hilarious. I love their relationship there. We meet one of Mince's mates. And they're just concerned for Mince. I've got really no opinion to them or Tiago I think it's Diego. Someone said it in the comments, and I read it, and then it was a day or two ago, and I completely forgot. I'm so sorry. But yeah. Mince's family is not super fond of Murderbot, which stinks. But I get it, right? You know, they don't know the trauma that she went through. And Murderbot was the savior of that condition and those environmental conditions and the circumstances. And it's like, I imagine it's like you're being shown maybe a new color for the first time, and it's unexplainable, and you maybe don't like it because it's a brand new color. I don't know. I've got weird thoughts about that kind of stuff. But yeah, imagine it's like being introduced to a situation you've never been in before. And then you're just like, I don't know if I like this. You know, maybe you live in New York and you've never been to a honky tonk before, but you go into a honky tonk and you're just like, what are these people doing? Right? Or other situations like that. You know, you go and see a musical and you're like, I don't like this. Why not? Those people are breaking out into song in the middle of a play. In the middle, why are they doing that? It happens. It's when you're introduced to something new and it's scary and it's weird and it's wonderful and you've got an idea of what it is, but until you experience it, it's different. And Murderbot is that experience for them, and they don't know that they don't like it. I do like that we're getting Diego and the rest. I love that it's kind of a family affair that's going off on what would be the rest of this book, and that Mince was like, I need you to go with them because Amina is her daughter, and Mince trusts more than anyone Murderbot to make sure Amina is safe. Because even though, and I love this moment because they describe how terrible it is for Grey Chris, even though Grey Chris is in the shitter, like they're literally losing executives to assassinations, even though that's happening, there's still danger out there for this group. Preservation has become much bigger in the socio-political atmosphere because of what's happened to them and Mince's cunning than what should have happened. So I love that they've gone to a festival that plays into Murderbot's want to view and see media. I love how that's written with a flashback and then kind of a flashback inside a flashback, which I thought that was pretty interesting. Like I said, the way Murderbot lists the 5 or 6 items that are like, well, he's telling her to drink more than him. He's lying to her about where he's spending time. She's lying to her family about where she's spending time. He's trying to take her to a house that he says her friends are at. They're not really there. I love her answer. And there's a few more, but I love her answer with like, I've got the feed. I'm not going to let him do anything to me. Like, I'll be safe. I'll be fine. Murderbot's like, I don't think you understand the gravity of the situation. You stupid little girl. But he says it in its own way. And in the end of the day, she's just embarrassed that she got caught doing something she knows that she shouldn't have done. And she thought meeting Murderbot with logic might deter Murderbot from any further. Murderbot's like, I don't need your logic. Whatever. You understand what's happening here? And of course she's like, oh gosh. Okay. So I'm glad that she's going to be on this voyage, this journey with us. I can't wait to see how she kind of grows with her relationship with Murderbot. I love that they're called go-karts. I love in the beginning that he goes to the medical bay and he's like, don't hug me. It's in my contract. Don't do that. I thought that was kind of fun. It's kind of funny. And I love that Diego tries to apologize for this behavior, and Murderbot's like, I'm taking this personally. I'm going to take this person. You need to understand the gravity of my capabilities here. I completely understand Murderbot in this situation, by the way, because there have been moments where I've been either in the office or at the gym. And in both instances, I am reporting something to a system administrator, whether it's someone who works at the gym or whether it's an IT person. And I'm saying, hey, I'm having a problem with this. Here are the conditions for what I'm having a problem with. Here is how I would fix it. Can I help you fix it? And they're like, no, And I'm like, great. And then when they respond to that inquiry, they immediately either have disregarded everything I've said, or or they just played it off like it's not even real. And that is so frustrating. That is so unbelievably frustrating, because in both circumstances, I'm going out of my way to show you that I am very capable of going through all I can go through to keep this from being a problem. And this still is a problem, and you still won't take this as heavily as I am. What's wrong with you? It's very disrespectful. I hate when that happens. It bothers me. It's my largest pet peeve. I mean, I wrote IT a bunch of times, like Tolkien novels, and of course, what did they do? They didn't even read it. And then one time they said, "Oh, we need to have a meeting." I'm like, "What are we meeting about?" And they were like, "Well, your ticket." And I'm like, "Okay, what's your question?" And they asked me, they said, "Well, we don't really quite understand." I was like, "Yeah, I need you to be specific. What is your question?" And then they said something, and I was like, that was addressed in the very first sentence of the first paragraph. You didn't read the email. You're just wasting my time. Do not waste my time. They got really mad about that, but then they apologized for wasting my time, because I was like, no, that's not how we're going to play this. We're not doing that. Anyway, enough of that. Super frustrating. But good chapter, a long chapter, a little long-winded. But then I say that, and then the pacing is like do. This book feels like it's almost different than this one. Ooh, it's almost different. Like, they are different books, but it's almost different characters, I would say. So we'll see how it goes, because now that we've gotten like the given circumstances, we're gonna jump into chapter 2, and they're gonna be on the ship. And we're on their base ship, and we're off and rolling. So I'm excited to see what happens. I'm going to continue to do chapter by chapter reactions and reviews. So if you want to keep coming along with me on this journey, hey, support the channel, buy the book, buy anything else on Amazon, or join the memberships and probably get some of this content a little bit early, and we'll really be able to see what Murderbot is up to. Tell me in the comments what you think is happening in this chapter. What was your favorite part? And we're just going to keep rolling. So until next time. Later, Taters.